Since you got your degree and you know every fucking thing.
Hi, welcome back. We're going to read some of the Drake petitions. Before we get into it, if you could hit that like button for me. That is something that I'm sure to you is free. It's supposed to be free and may seem trivial to you, but to me, it's extremely important because with that like, you help the algorithm push the videos. Aubrey Drake Graham's verified petition for Rule 202 depositions. Petitioner Aubrey Drake Graham requests an order authorized under Texas Rule of Civil Procedure 202 to take pre-suit depositions of the corporate representatives of iHeartMedia Inc. and UMG Records Inc., for which includes Interscope Records, a wholly owned division of UMG, for which petitioner respectfully shows as follows. Pursuant to Text R Civ P 190.4, petitioner requests that discovery be conducted under a Level 3 discovery control plan. Factual background. Respondent UMG is one of a handful of companies that dominate the multi-billion-dollar music industry. When it comes to release of new music by its most prominent artists, UMG is meticulous in its planning and execution to the music it releases, promotes, and backs with its considerable financial resources. That is true not just because the amount of money on the line for UMG and its shareholders, but also because UMG's executives are eligible to receive incentive bonuses based on the revenue generated by their respective divisions. 3. Early this year, one of the artists that UMG has under contract presented UMG with a new song called Not Like Us. Before it approved the release of the song, UMG knew that the song itself, as well as its accompanying album art and music video, attacked the character of another one of UMG's most prominent artists, Drake, by falsely accusing him of being a sex offender, engaging in pedophilic acts, harboring sex offenders, and committing other criminal sexual acts. Specifically, the song calls Drake a certified pedophile, a predator, and someone whose name should be registered and placed on Neighborhood Watch. Pursuant to its rights under various contracts, UMG has exclusive control over the licensing of Not Like Us and could have refused to release or distribute the song or required the offending material to be edited and or removed. But UMG chose to do the opposite. UMG designed, financed, and then executed a plan to turn Not Like Us into a viral mega hit with the intent of using the spectacle of harm to Drake and his business to drive consumer hysteria and, of course, massive revenues. That plan succeeded, likely beyond UMG's wildest expectations. 5. UMG released the song Not Like Us on May 4th, 2024. Time flies, that's not in the document. And its music video on July 4th, 2024. UMG relied on its exclusive licensing rights and coordination with known and unknown third parties, utilized every tool in its arsenal to spread Not Like Us. UMG made Not Like Us available for radio play, including to iHeartMedia, a mass media corporation headquartered in San Antonio, Texas. iHeartMedia boasts that it's the #1 audio company in the US based on consumer reach. iHeartMedia claims that it reaches 9 out of 10 Americans every month and has more reach than any other media company in the US. iHeartMedia owns iHeartRadio, a freemium broadcast, podcast, radio streaming, and music streaming platform. Radio stations all over the country, including stations owned by iHeartMedia, have played Not Like Us. UMG and iHeartMedia have a long-standing symbiotic relationship whereby iHeartMedia pays UMG to license and collect royalties for UMG artists' songs over radio airplay and streaming services. As demonstrated by iHeartMedia's bankruptcy filings in 2018, the amount of money exchanged between iHeartMedia and UMG is substantial. In the last quarter of 2023, UMG, through its recorded music and music publishing divisions, had an ownership interest in more than 60% of the 100 songs listed in the Billboard Hot 100 radio charts. Without its business deals with UMG, iHeartMedia would lose access to a majority of its top radio hits. On the first week of its release, Not Like Us ranked first on Billboard's Hot 100 with 5 million radio airplay audience impressions. In the week that the Not Like Us music video was released, Not Like Us played on the radio an additional 40 million times. 40 months later, the iHeartRadio leaderboard reported that Not Like Us was among the top 2 songs with the most plays on iHeartRadio stations, and explained in the newsletter that it had been heard more than 25 million times across iHeartRadio's platforms alone. As of the date of this filing, iHeartRadio leaderboard still reports Not Like Us as among the most widely played songs in iHeartRadio stations. Billboard reported that as of October 7th, 2024, Not Like Us reached 45.4 million in total audience impressions on the radio, with 15 consecutive weeks in charge of the R&B/hip hop airplay list. I'm gonna stop that one right there. Drake is doing something that I was taught personally not to do, but I understand everyone doesn't grow up the same way. Drake is doing something that we call blowing up the spot. You have just ruined the trust of millions of people in these Spotify records, in these first week album sales, all because you lost. If we are gonna go down this road, strip you of all those accolades that you throw in everyone's face, I say to hell with it, let's strip everybody's. Because if we're going to admit that this is common practice for these companies to boost artists to the point where you believe they boosted it so much that you had to tell on this nigga, then how do we know any of this is real? Now let's read a little bit of the other one. By and through its undersigned attorneys respectfully petitions the court pursuant to New York civil practice law and rule for an order granting limited pre-action disclosure from respondents UMG Recordings Inc. and Spotify USA, and directing the preservation of relevant evidence in the possession, custody, and control of UMG. In his memo to staff reflecting the highlights of 2021, the CEO of UMG, Lucien Grange, remarked on being harder than ever for artists to break through the noise. 60,000 songs are added to Spotify every day. Spotify is the world's most popular audio streaming subscription service. As of the end of the third quarter of 2024, Spotify boasted more than 640 monthly active users and 252 million subscribers. Spotify pays music companies like UMG for the right to license the songs so it can play them on its streaming and subscription platforms. In 2023 alone, Spotify paid more than $9 billion in royalties to music labels and producers. Hip hop is one of the most popular genres, and Spotify amounted to nearly a quarter of all streams on Spotify globally in 2023. Spotify and UMG have a long-standing symbiotic business relationship as one of Spotify's earliest supporters. UMG entered into a multi-million. Stupid. Why the fuck am I saying million? What the fuck is going on with me? UMG entered a multi-year global license agreement with Spotify in 2020. UMG and Spotify collaborate on strategic marketing campaigns and products, and in 2024 announced an expansion of their strategic partnership through which Spotify will amplify music discovery and social interaction and enhance fan experiences across the platform for UMG's family of artists and songwriters. Based on UMG's financial reporting, Spotify paid UMG around $2.28 billion in 2023, which amounted to 90% of UMG's total revenues in 2023. Streaming is essential for UMG's current bottom line and its future business strategy. In a report related to the third quarter of 2024, UMG noted a nearly 29% year-over-year decrease in downloads and other digital revenue because the continued format shift towards streaming across the music industry. UMG's long-term strategy relies on accelerating monetization from streaming and subscription. In October 2024, UMG unveiled a new slogan, Streaming 2.0, which illustrates the importance UMG places on saturating the streaming market. In 2024, UMG did not rely on the chance or even ordinary business practices to break through the noise. On Spotify and likely other music platforms, it instead a campaign to manipulate and saturate the streaming services and airwaves with a song Not Like Us, including by using bots and pay-to-play agreements. UMG released Not Like Us on May 4, 2024. Pursuant of various contractual rights, UMG has exclusive control over licensing of the song. On information and belief that UMG charged Spotify licensing rates 30% lower than its usual licensing rates for Not Like Us in exchange for Spotify affirmatively recommending the song to users who are searching for other unrelated songs and artists. Neither UMG nor Spotify disclosed that Spotify had received compensation in any kind in exchange for recommending the song. On information and belief that Spotify pays UMG licensing through the wires or mails. UMG directly or through Interscope also conspired with and paid currently unknown parties to use bots to artificially inflate the spread of Not Like Us and deceive customers into believing the song was more popular than it was in reality. Bots are software programs designed to mimic human behavior to appear to be real social media accounts. One individual, unknown to petitioner, revealed publicly on a popular podcast that Mr. Kenneth Lamar Duckworth via third parties to use bots to achieve 30 million streams on Spotify in the first days of the release of Not Like Us, with the goal of jumpstarting the song spread and turning into a crazy hit on the platform. The whistleblowers described Spotify as the easiest platform to bot because it is not like other streaming platforms, have certain security measures when it comes to bot protection. May 6, 2024, an individual affiliated with Interscope sent him a payment of $2,500 via digital payments platform Zelle, which is owned by a number of banks, and that he was promised another $2,500 and a percentage of the song's total sales for this initial push. And I'm going to stop that one right there. So I may link these in the comments if they let me do that, if y'all want to read the whole thing, but let's unpack these. Okay, so the first one is Drake going against specifically iHeartRadio and UMG. The second one is Spotify and UMG. He's saying that they are partnering up to devalue his brand in music. Now, like I said before, two things can be true at one time.
Combination.
And I'm sticking by the fact that Drake is doing this simply because he's lost. Not only did he lose the beef, but he's losing his power. And that doesn't sit well with him. He thought this was going to be a cakewalk. He thought this was going to be easy. Drake just vastly underestimated people's disdain for him. And then let's go to the second lawsuit. The second lawsuit is specifically talking about Spotify. And I covered the guy that he's talking about in this petition here. I made a video about it when that guy went on academics.
But the most recent song I did do all the bots for, well, most of it and the marketing was Not Like Us.
By the way, I didn't set this up, chat. This fell in my lap. Okay. But today is Kendrick Lamar's 37th birthday. I want to wish him a very happy birthday. If the people who vetted you are right, you might have something in common with Kendrick Lamar. Am I right or not?
And I did have the inkling that possibly Drake sent this man. Because who else has the pull to get someone on academics, late notice, and he goes on there and says, Drake never bots. Everyone else bots, but not Drake. Think about how crazy of a sentence that is. So every single other artist in the world uses bots. But when it comes to Drake, when it comes to Aubrey, Drake, Graham, he does not use bots whatsoever. You can say that with 100% certainty. Does that sound like someone who has no motive? Not to me. Not to me. And look, I don't want to keep talking about the beef, but he keeps doing things that dig his fucking hole larger and larger when he could just take the time, relax, go heal, lick his wounds, come back, live to fight another day. But yeah, I spoke about them promoting artists that we are clearly not listening to their songs like that. They're not saying that they're not good songs, but there's no way I'm listening to Espresso that many times to where it needs to pop up. There's no way I'm listening to $1 Million Baby that many times to where it pops up after playing a song that's not even close to it. Why am I playing Zero and Lil Kiki and it's going to Tommy Rich? I have been saying this since the beginning that Drake falsely claims that he beat Michael Jackson or he's next up closest to Michael Jackson. It's not even close, y'all. It's not even close. Specifically because we're in the streaming era. That is not. I need y'all to understand the ease of access to the music and the different type of listening that is going on versus when Michael Jackson and Prince and all those other people were making music. Selling music before the streaming era was a completely different thing. Press runs, signings. Y'all remember signings? No one's doing signings anymore because there's no need. Now we can just pay Paul and some random kid from Canada and he'll boost your streams up a significant amount. Look, all this lawsuit would make a lot more sense coming from a smaller artist. You are not about to sit up there and act like you are the victim in all this, man. And I also stand by my other opinion. If Drake had done this sooner in the beef, like as soon as Not Like Us dropped, I think it would be viewed a little bit differently. But now it seems like the lawsuit is only coming up because you lost. Boo this man. Boo this man now. But yeah, y'all let me know y'all's thoughts on all this stuff here. What a time to be alive. I don't know how Drake comes back from this. Maybe next season. And if you had asked me a couple of years ago, I would have never guessed that he'd be so far gone at this point. We are really not getting that man back. And I know some people are going to be like, Drake was never that man. And I understand people have different views on it. But I truly believe if that early Drake 09 to like 13, if you go back and listen to it, man, go listen to it and you can thank me later. And I'm not sure what changed after that, but after that point, it just seemed like nothing was the same. It's just, I don't know, man. Honestly, never mind. Y'all have a nice day, man. Take care.